What's going on, guys? The Comics Kid 2099 here to examine Uncanny X-Men issue 144. After a pretty long partnership between Chris Claremont and John Byrne, this is our first issue in the main series, not counting annuals or anything like that, that John Byrne is no longer doing the art. Here is the creative team on this issue. We have Brent Anderson doing guest pencils, I guess you could say, on this, because starting with issue 145, Dave Cockrum returns to the book. Dave Cockrum was drawing with Claremont for a little while before John Byrne came on. And this issue, I don't have very much to say. Scott Summers has basically retired from the X-Men after Jean Grey died. He got a job on a boat with Lee Forrester, and in this issue we find out Lee Forrester has it bad for Scott Summers. Scott knows that, and he likes Lee, but he doesn't want to get involved with someone so soon after Jean Grey died. And we open up the issue with Lee Forrester's dad committing suicide because he has cancer. It's inoperable, incurable, and there is this demon, Despair, who was apparently created by Chris Claremont and John Byrne in Marvel Team Up. And I know very little about Despair. I don't know why this demon is specifically targeting the Forrester family. And this guy, it seems like Despair made him commit suicide, or at least kind of pushed him into that direction, like mentally, but I don't get what he, like, I know what he does. He wants to make his victims feel like hopeless, and then he feeds on that emotion. But then why specifically this family? Like, if it wasn't for Cyclops working for Lee Forrester, like, the Forrester family is nothing. I don't know why this demon is targeting this guy and then wants his daughter also. That I didn't really understand, other than, well, we need something to happen in this issue. Also, this is now 3 issues in a row where the X-Men fight a demon. You had the Ingarai demon that Kitty fought, and then you had the annual, which maybe I should have covered that one a few videos ago, but as far as what I'm reading, then we had the annual where the X-Men go to hell, and Marguerite Zardos looks like a demon. Later on, she's portrayed as looking human, but at least in the annual, she does not look human, and she has some kind of inhuman sorceress powers. And then in this issue, Scott Summers fights a demon. Thought that was kind of funny. I don't really know if that was on anyone's mind working on this issue. I do wonder, because Despair was created by Byrne and Claremont, I wonder if Claremont wrote this script thinking John Byrne is going to be drawing it, and then he found out Byrne doesn't want to work with you anymore, so then they had to scramble to get another artist, and they said, well, okay, the script is already written, so we'll just go ahead and let Brent Anderson draw the story that I intended to do with John Byrne, since Claremont and Byrne co-created this character. Or did Claremont know John Byrne was not going to be doing this issue, and then he said, I know what'll really, I'm going to poke the bear. I'm going to bring in a character that me and Byrne co-created together, and then I'm going to have this other guy draw him. I don't know. I remember a while back I did a video where John Byrne shared some notes on the plans that he and Claremont had following the Dark Phoenix saga, and almost everything in their notes was changed because they ended up killing off Jean Grey in the Dark Phoenix saga, which was not their original plan, and I don't remember if they actually mentioned in those notes any plans to use Despair. I don't remember that. I'll post a picture of it right now, but I can't remember if they specifically had plans for this character, or if they just had plans for Cyclops and Jean. They're off, you know, getting ready to get married, and then they fight a demon. I don't know. But anyway, Man-Thing is in this issue. I have no thoughts on Man-Thing. This is a character who is not even really a character. He's just a lumbering mass. I don't feel like Man-Thing really has any agency. You look at, Man-Thing was apparently created in like the same month that Swamp Thing was created in, but Swamp Thing actually has like thoughts, and he can do stuff. He takes action, and he at least thinks that he is whatever his name was before he became Swamp Thing, and so you feel like you're actually reading about a character. Man-Thing it would be like if you just made a comic about, like, a bear who just walks around and eats. Like, there's nothing interesting about this character. He doesn't have human thoughts. There's really nothing there to latch onto, at least as far as I'm concerned. Maybe there are Man-Thing fans out there, but for as long as I've been reading comics, I don't think there has been a Man-Thing series. I think this is a character who had a thing going in the 70s for a little while, and then the character in the series just kind of fizzled out, and ever since then he's been showing up as a guest star here and there, and I mean, for one issue, I guess he's fine. I don't care about this character, if you can even call him that. I don't really understand his shtick either. Like, whatever knows fear burns at the touch of the Man-Thing. That is his whole thing. So, what happens if the Man-Thing is lumbering along somewhere in Florida and a little kid is playing in the forest and turns around and a giant 7-foot-tall pile of grass is coming towards the kid? Then the kid is going to be scared. And then the kid is going to burn at the touch of the Man-Thing. So maybe the Man-Thing knows not to touch anybody unless they're evil, and maybe somehow he knows what is and isn't evil. I don't know. This issue really just feels like I said, I wish I had gone back and looked at those notes that John Byrne had shared about what they plan to do following the Dark Phoenix saga, because I really feel like this issue just kind of feels like we're just killing time until we can get another artist to come in, and then he and Claremont can kind of figure out the direction they want to take the series. But anyway, Scott Summers figures out that if you have fear, but you can conquer your fear or something, you don't lose hope, then you can defeat despair, and then the Man-Thing helps him defeat despair, and then that's basically it for this issue. Scott kind of goes through a roller coaster of emotions. He remembers when he was a little kid, and he was pushed out of the plane with his brother, and then he has a version of the Neil Adams Sentinel storyline where they fought, it was Larry Trask's Sentinels. He remembers that, but it's a little bit different than how it actually happened. And then it's versions of, like, stuff that happened, like Jean Grey, he meets her, and then he's able to conquer the fear that Despair puts in his mind. And then Despair is defeated. Meanwhile, back at the X-Mansion, Professor X asks Angel if he can help cover the costs of repairing the school after Kitty Pryde defeated the Ingarai demon. And this is probably the first time, like, the X-Mansion, it's kind of a running joke that it gets destroyed a lot. This is, like, probably the only time I can think of where we actually see them reference, okay, the school has been destroyed, and now we have to pay to fix it. Usually it's like, okay, the school was destroyed, and then the next month it's back. And they don't really call attention to, hey, how are we going to fix all this? So thought that was kind of neat. And then Kitty is being teased by Wolverine and Nightcrawler because of all the damage that was done to the Danger Room and the rest of the school. And then she runs away crying, and then Nightcrawler tries to apologize, and she basically says, I'm not hurt, you didn't hurt my feelings, and then she runs away, and then that's it. Nightcrawler feels bad about it, and we don't get any follow-up to that. And that's about it for this issue. Brent Anderson's art is fine, and probably I would have stronger feelings on it if he had stayed on the book a little longer. I know I have read some of his stuff before. He did a lot of Astro City with Kurt Busiek in the 90s, and his art, I remember it looking very different then than it does here. And I don't know if it's just his style changed over time, or if it's the inker that he was working with makes his work look different. But his work here, it just looks darker here, and maybe it's the subject matter. Maybe when you open an issue with a guy committing suicide, it puts kind of a shade over the rest of the issue of, like, this is really dark and depressing, and you don't necessarily have that with Astro City. But his art is fine. Like I said, if he had stayed on the series a little longer, I probably would have had stronger feelings on, the Brent Anderson run of X-Men. But it kind of feels like I said, this whole issue really just feels like it's just killing time until we can get to the next creative team on the series. So that is about all that I have to say about this issue. I hope you guys like this one, and I will see you in the future. Have a great rest of the day. Catch you later.